Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to a staple here on the Autistic Super Channel that's been going on for quite a long time now. It's something called the Advent Hope. What this is, dear readers, viewers, and listeners, is that um, I'll usually take the mass readings from the USCCB website, which I'll show in the show notes below, and usually what I'll do is I'll boil them down to one word and kind of explain why I mean this in ways that you all will understand. As I mentioned before, the show notes will be in the link will be in the show notes below. But this video and this series was dedicated to the memory of a wonderful friend, Joseph Defino Sr., who passed away. But I've decided this year to do it on behalf of the entire Defino family, for the living and deceased members of the Defino family. So, with that being said, I wanted to kind of get this first one out of the way and kind of get to the first point to what I feel like Advent's all about. Strange as it may feel, I feel like it's all about rejoicing. I know what you're thinking. Why are we rejoicing during Advent? Well, it's rejoicing because you might say an expectant hope, in a way. But I look at it more as rejoicing. I want to ask you all a question, dear readers and viewers and listeners. When was the last time you really celebrated yourself? Like, celebrated your accomplishments. Celebrated who you are as an individual. I could tell you from my own personal experience that I've done a little bit of rejoicing, but I always like to make it sure that I'm not being too, I don't want to be extravagant, but I also want to make it seem like it's no victory at all. The way I see it, for all of us in life, any victory we have is a small victory. I want to repeat that. Any victory that we all have in our lives, whether small, is a victory nevertheless. I can tell you from my own personal experience, this past Thursday, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, and it was 3 years ago that I found out about my bout of autistic burnout, which I've documented ad nauseum on the Autistic Super blog, which you can check out at the autisticsuperblog.wordpress.com. But the fact of the matter is, I've been doing a lot of thinking during that time and trying to figure out what the victories are, that I've had in my life. I've had to stand firm. I've had to be a self-advocate for myself, so that's a victory. I found myself to be a little bit more creative, so that's another victory. So, and I've also found myself having to be more firm in how I'm feeling, and standing up for not only my own emotional rights, but also my mental rights, but also my mental health too. So that's kind of the whole situation that I'm talking about when it comes to figuring out what are the victories in your life. Like, I look at it like this. As long as you can win one victory in a baseball team or a football team or a hockey team, appropriate for winter, I look at that as a victory. Even though it's small, you could consider it a small victory in that regard. But it's a victory nevertheless. And those are things to be worth rejoicing about. Those are things that you need to really pat yourself in the back for. And I know that I do the same thing for myself too. I usually I don't know if I've done this in the past. I've never really given myself a pat in the back for certain things. I'll be honest with you, all the readers and viewers and listeners, I'm very hard on myself. And I have been hard on myself for the longest time. Cue the Billy Joel song. But the point stands. It's one thing to be hard on yourself. It's one thing to want the best for yourself. It's one thing to be like Gordon Ramsay in that regard, to want perfection. But it's another thing altogether to have that perfection for others. And sometimes it can be a little bit grating at times. But I always feel like the biggest thing to take away from things is, from the battles that we deal with in our lives, are the victories, not just small not just big victories, but moral victories. Like, I mean, yes, there are big victories to come, and those will come with as smaller victories pile up. But the point I want to make is that there are times when you should be happy and satisfied and proud of yourself, but don't, as long as you don't get it into like feeling haughty or feeling like everything was your doing and yours alone, when it really wasn't. There's a lot of people that have been in similar situations than you, and you may have asked for your help, but it's all about the victories in life. Yes, there are defeats. Yes, there are like setbacks, but I look at it like this: setbacks are always something that you can always nurture when it comes to victories for later on. Like, it's kind of like the same thing with the game show called Scrabble. You could be down like 2 words in a Scrabble game, but with one word, one big word, if you place it the right way, it can mean a lot for you when it comes to a victory or defeat. So that's kind of the whole situation of what I'm going for with this, and I hope that this message gets to you all, dear readers and viewers and listeners. I hopefully you like these videos. If you like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you like all these videos, you can check me out not only here on the Autistic Super channel on YouTube, but you can check out all my videos on the autisticsuperblog.wordpress.com. Until next time, dear readers and viewers and listeners, stay safe, stay strong, stay victorious and humble, but always shine on.